My name's Conor. I'm here to talk about the Integrative Trauma Attachment Treatment Model, or ITATM. For me, I've been doing mostly social work across the UK and Western and Eastern Canada for most of my career. And most recently, I got trained in the ITATM with Lottie Gill at the Attachment Trauma Treatment Centre for Healing. I must say the experience of learning this was huge. It really was. I think the best way I can describe this training is it develops an understanding of trauma from more of a 2D perspective to more of a 3D perspective, to understand all the components of trauma and attachment trauma and how these all interlink with each other, and most importantly, how we treat this and how we move past trauma. The training is great because not only does it give that understanding of trauma from that broader, more in-depth understanding, it's a very practical training. And that was something that I greatly enjoyed the most. Again, working with people who have suffered trauma in many different capacities, I was desperate to learn more techniques, more ways of being able to help them. And with this, what this model does is it seems to be able to crack the shell of the thinking brain. It gets into those deeper levels. And as we understand with trauma, and as the research is showing, that's where trauma lives. Trauma doesn't live in the thinking brain, it lives in the deeper parts of the brain, in the body, in the nervous system. So therefore, effective treatment would have to work with these components here. The amazing thing about this model is when you do this, you work with people through somatic work, through EMDR techniques such as bilateral stimulation. We bring in a range of DBT components and so on. And with this, the combination of all these different things allows a structure to develop and also be fluid for different people, different concerns, and whatever they're coming to treatment for. For me, I've done this training and gained a lot. What amazed me about this was, even in previous jobs, I would train professionals in trauma and understanding trauma. And the way that we were teaching, the way that we were doing things was somewhat effective for what we were doing. But learning from the ITATM and Laurie's approach of trauma, again, it broadens this a lot more. Throughout this training, you will develop a deeper understanding of trauma. And again, most importantly, how to treat it. For me as well, I've had the opportunity to join Laurie at the Attachment Trauma Treatment Centre for Healing, to be able to do an internship and work under her direct supervision. So for me, I've had a lot of direct experience with this model. And throughout the week, when I see for myself and all the other therapists, when we see all the multiple clients that we have in our caseload, this is the model that we're applying for every client. The amazing thing is that, yes, this model can apply to, say, acute trauma, such as one-time car crashes or big events like that. But this is also expanding to the more difficult types of trauma that have always been known to be very difficult to treat within psychotherapy. And I'm talking about complex and chronic trauma. The amazing thing about this model is we're working with reprocessing. So by doing that, we're working with the factors of the mind and body that are already there. And we have an opportunity to reprocess these things. So if somebody's coming to me or another therapist with multiple severe traumas, chronic traumas, complex traumas, as this continues, I'm saying, okay, this is something that we can manage. Because the way that people's brains are, there's an opportunity with the right structure to be able to reprocess past challenging events, right from early attachment to traumas through any time through somebody's life. And that's where the key point I'm trying to make is this model guides processing, the processing that we have within our mind, but it guides the processing in a way that's very natural for the brain, very natural for the body, and can allow those significant developments to come. I mentioned before that this is about going deeper than the cortex, going deeper than the thinking brain, because that's where trauma allows us deeper. So that's what we do. By working with the somatic work, the deep emotions, the value systems, the influences, the self-beliefs that people develop that are often influenced by challenging past events, we can work with these, again, from a bottom-up approach. The thinking brain is important, of course, but this is not talk therapy. We're not going to have somebody tell and retell their story over and over again. That's not good for the client, and it's not good for the therapist either. We want to be practical and efficient, and we want to work with people in the best and most efficient way possible to help them on their healing journey. And by doing that, working with that bottom-up approach, and then reintroducing the thinking components of the cortex back into the situation, that's when new neural structures can form and new reassociations to the past challenging events can start to surface. I wanted to talk about this today because I do this with many other therapists at ATTATCH, and the results are amazing. To work with people who have had life experiences that are beyond most people in the general public's comprehension, but to heal from that, this can only be described as a beautiful thing. And if we've got tools that can help people in this way, then this is a message that needs to be shared. I often tell my clients when we introduce some techniques and so on that yes, humans are different in different ways. We're all unique in certain components, but we've also got a lot of similarities. And the similarities are often in, let's say, deeper brain regions, survival mechanisms, the fight and flight response. We've all got those. That's across all humans. So therefore, if we work with certain things in certain ways, we have the opportunity to help people progress in that way, purely because they are human and they have the human components within the brain and the mind and the body. The results that I've seen have been fascinating. I've often talked to my colleagues and become quite amazed by the results that we're seeing, both from observations, but also from objective assessments. As I tell this to other therapists are telling this to me, and although we're working with some of those challenging concerns that really any therapist can work with, it's all about the results. It's all about getting people to move past their issues. Or a better way to phrase that would be to move through their past to increase their well-being. I'll leave it there for today. But I encourage people to look into this. Look into the ITATM, the Integrative Trauma Attachment Treatment Model. As I like to say, proof's in the pudding. The results that I've seen, witnessed, as well as many other therapists at ATTATCH and others that Laurie has trained across North America. This is an opportunity for all of us to work in this field and have a desire to help people heal from trauma and attachment concerns. I'll leave it there, and I wish you all your best in your research and the help that you're providing to other people. Take care.